What an incredibly funny scene. Pixar is definitely back. So the Pixar movie Hoppers has just been released, and today I'm going to be showing you the full movie breakdown and all the Easter eggs you missed in it. So without further ado guys, let's just get right into it. It all starts with a little girl named Mabel, who is basically an animal-loving furry and pretty much kidnaps all the animals from her class so she can set them free. But the plan backfires and she gets caught, and they send her to the principal's office. Her mom is already completely fed up with her because she's always getting into trouble, so she leaves her with her grandma. With her grandma, she feels completely safe because her grandma understands her more. She's also an animal lover, and they spend a lot of time together as grandmother and granddaughter, obviously taking care of animals. Her grandma even takes her to a secret place where basically all kinds of wildlife gather together, and she makes Mabel promise that she'll always take care of the environment and of animals forever. Years pass, and now Mabel is 19 years old, and her grandma has unfortunately passed away. She finds out that they're going to build a highway, and they're going to destroy her grandma's clearing. So of course, Mabel rushes over as fast as she can to try to stop the demolition of the clearing. They try to get her to leave, but Mabel refuses. Then the main villain of the movie shows up, the guy behind the highway project, and it turns out to be the city's mayor, Jerry. These two guys don't get along whatsoever. They're always arguing because Mabel doesn't want the clearing to be destroyed, of course, but Jerry tells her they're going to do it anyway because there aren't any animals there. Mabel tries to call the animals, but none of them show up. Eventually, they drag her away because there is nothing else she can do. She then tries to gather a huge number of signatures to save the clearing, but basically nobody cares and they brush her off all day long. And that's when she realizes that she needs animals back in the clearing if she wants to save it. She rushes straight to talk to her university professor to talk about why all the animals have suddenly disappeared. The problem is that the professor is in the middle of teaching the class, one that Mabel is actually enrolled in. The professor is already fed up with her because Mabel has failed a bunch of classes already and is supposed to be graduating soon. The professor tells her the clearing doesn't even have a beaver anymore, which means there is no dam, no water, and no reason for other animals to stay. So Mabel comes up with an idea. If we bring a beaver back into the clearing, more animals will return, and she rushes out to try to capture one, but it doesn't go very well. Suddenly, a beaver appears and almost takes the bait, but the beaver ignores her and walks away, making Mabel follow it. She notices someone picking up the beaver in a car, so she follows the car all the way to her college. She's shocked when the beaver casually gets out of the car like nothing happened, and she follows it into a small lab and discovers that her professor is there and that the beaver is actually just a body being controlled by the professor's mind, just like the bodies used by her assistants. Mabel can't believe what she's seeing, so the professor explains everything step by step, making it easy to understand. That's when Mabel gets an idea. She wants to enter the beaver's body herself and become a Therian so she can communicate with other animals, bring a beaver into the clearing, and save it. But once she switches body, she realizes that she can't communicate with humans anymore. She's basically just a normal beaver. She sneaks completely out of the lab because the professor tells her that she cannot interfere with the ecosystem. But Mabel doesn't care and runs anyway. She gets captured by an owl that tries to eat her, but she manages to escape anyway, and she wakes up in the forest and realizes that all of a sudden she can now understand animals. But once again, the animals tell her to get lost, except for a spider that guides her to another beaver. Mabel asks the beaver to go to the clearing so they can start working and save the place, but the beaver is lazy and refuses. Suddenly a bear shows up and tries to eat the beaver, so Mabel saves it so the bear won't eat it, but she's literally interrupting the natural order and breaking the rules, because if an animal needs to eat, it has to eat it. Mabel doesn't understand that at all, so they send her to the king. Meanwhile, the professor is extremely worried about Mabel and where she is, and when she remembers there is a camera in the beaver's body, she turns it on, and through it she sees that a massive amount of animals are gathering. This is where we meet the king of animals, who is basically a beaver too. The king asks if Mabel is new and if she just arrived at the clearing, because there are rules here that she cannot break. He then starts giving her a tour of the entire clearing where she meets all the animals. He tells her that the only rule in the animal kingdom is that if you have to eat, you have to eat, no matter how cruel it might seem. But even in that case, every single animal is welcome, even though the place is already extremely overcrowded and there is barely any space for new animals. Mabel asks why don't they move to her grandma's clearing. The king tells her that there is an unbelievably and unbearable sound there, and that's why they all left that clearing. So they go investigate that place, but they can't get closer because the sound is infernal. But Mabel doesn't hear a single thing. That's when she realizes there is a fake tree emitting a sound that only animals can hear. Since she's technically a human, she cannot hear it. The fake tree was placed there by Jerry so the animals would leave the clearing and he could build his highway. The lie that there were no animals in that clearing, hence he could build the highway, was a complete fabrication. Mabel gets extremely angry and rushes to knock the trees down, and one of the professor's assistants tries to take her back because she's forbidden from using the avatar like that. But due to plot convenience, she knocks the tree down anyway, and the sound stops, and all the animals start loving Mabel. Now all the animals return to the clearing since the sound is gone, and they all start working together to rebuild the place. Mabel is completely happy because she has completed her mission. There are animals there again, so they can't build the highway anymore, and her grandma would be very proud of her. Meanwhile, Jerry is happy because he's about to build his highway, but when he's informed that the animals have returned again, that makes Jerry get back to work and send even more fake trees. Mabel becomes very good friends with the king, and they talk about humans. She explains to him that not all humans are trustworthy, but the king believes everyone has the potential to be good. Suddenly, they're interrupted by a huge explosion because more of those fake trees are being installed, forcing the animals to leave the clearing again. Mabel gets extremely angry and becomes the king's advisor. The king then calls a council of all the animal rulers since he's the only king of the mammals. He summons the king of the insects, the king of the reptiles, the king of the amphibians, the king of the seas, and the queen of the insects. The council questions the beaver's king's leadership because they think that he's not doing his job properly. Mabel shows them the fake tree and explains that soon humans will also damage the ecosystems of other kingdoms if they don't stop it here. They need to stop the humans immediately now in that clearing before it gets too far. Mabel thought the council would help destroy the fake trees, but the plan backfires again. Now all the kings want to exterminate the human race and basically eliminate Jerry because they think he's the king of humans. The king and Mabel are shocked, of course, because they don't want to battle with humans. And in the chaos, Mabel accidentally kills the insect queen, which makes everybody panic and demand revenge. Everything becomes a complete disaster. A small caterpillar takes the queen's place, becoming the next insect king, and vows revenge against humans. He cocoons himself to transform into a butterfly, and Mabel and the king realize they basically started a war. The king is very disappointed in her. She apologizes and breaks down emotionally, and the king tries to comfort her emotionally instead of abandoning her. Later, they make a plan to save Jerry because the animals are about to eliminate him. Jerry has no idea and is actually in a great mood. He gets into his car, but Mabel and the others get there first and basically take him, talking to him through a phone since animals obviously don't speak human language. They're chased by other animals, and thanks to the queen of the fish, a megalodon is even sent after them to eliminate Jerry, but thanks to armor, he survives. And Mabel gives Jerry an earpiece from the professor so he can understand her. She tells him the only way to save his life is to cancel the highway construction now. Jerry refuses, of course, which makes Mabel furious, and she basically exposes him so the animals can eliminate him. But then the professor arrives and rescues Mabel with Jerry's help so they can transfer her mind back into the human body. The king sees this and realizes that Mabel was actually a fake animal all along. Soon they're captured by other animals who force them to create a clone of Jerry controlled by the butterfly insect king. The insect king creates a human body, basically a robotic copy of Jerry, and plans revenge from then on. Instead of fake trees that affect animals, he'll create ones that affect humans and essentially wipe out humanity. The king is completely disappointed in Mabel, and to fix everything, Mabel makes Jerry enter the beaver's body so they can escape and save humans at a festival. The fake Jerry appears and starts talking a lot of nonsense to try to eliminate everybody, but nobody realizes it. Mabel tries to reason with the insect king and apologizes for killing his mother, but he doesn't care. Then it's revealed everything was actually a trap to force the insect king back into his original body, but the other rulers notice and transfer minds again, causing Mabel and the fake Jerry to fight over the phone that controls the speakers. The phone ends up on top of the fake tree, causing total chaos. Mabel and the fake Jerry climb the tree, and Mabel literally rips the robot's face off so he can't unlock the phone anymore. But the trees collapse under the weight and start a massive fire. Mabel sees the king trapped in the flames and tries to save him. With help from her friends, they escape alive, but the fire starts spreading towards the entire city. So Mabel comes up with an idea. Together with all the animal kings, they will destroy the dam so the water floods the city and extinguishes the fire, with the help from the megalodon too. And it works. The water puts out the fire across the whole city, and Jerry starts to wonder why all the animals suddenly saved him and the entire city after wanting to eliminate him. Later, Mabel returns to the city and sees everything in ruins. Jerry appears and she thinks they're going to rebuild the highway, but instead they're cleaning cleaning up the damage. They become good friends, and later, Mabel graduates from university and sees her teacher continuing her research. The professor even offers Mabel a job. She asks if Mabel still talks to the king. Mabel says no, and they haven't seen each other in a long time. But that's a lie. She returns to the clearing where she used to go with her grandma, and waiting for her there was none other than the king himself. The clearing was completely saved, and even if the king can't fully understand her, they still care about each other, and they become best friends. And that's how the movie of Hoppers ends. And yeah, it was a pretty fun movie, and Pixar basically outdid themselves in this one.